Draco, how are you? What's going on here? I'm fine, Father, Draco replied quietly, clearly not meaning a word. We're waiting for Mr. and Mrs. Bulstrode. Why, Millicent, are you all right? Lucius asked. I'm fine. I'm fine, Mr. Malfoy. But what? And the Bulstrodes entered the room in a flurry of bustling activity. Lucius, Mrs. Bulstrode greeted brightly, completely ignoring her daughter. Lucius ignored him, taking Draco's small hand in his own. What's going on, Draco? Draco flushed shyly or guiltily. Lucius couldn't tell and looked to Millicent. She blushed too and stared at the floor. Yes? Her mother asked snidely. Millicent took a deep breath and said, I'm pregnant. Is Draco the father? Mrs. Bulstrode asked. Of course I am, Draco snapped. Well, Dumbledore began, silencing everyone in the room. Now that we're all aware of the situation, maybe we can discuss an appropriate course of action. Well, there really is only one option, Mrs. Bulstrode replied. We must get married as soon as possible. You're not going to tell my son what he must and must not do, Lucius snarled. Then he turned to the clearly terrified girl. Millicent, do you know what you want to do? I don't know. Do you know what your options are? Dumbledore asked kindly. Marriage is the only option, Mrs. Bulstrode yelled, jumping to her feet. Now, Millicent, Dumbledore continued, as if he had not been interrupted. You have 4 options. You can marry Draco and have the baby. You can refrain from marrying Draco and have the baby alone. Or you can have the baby and give it up for adoption. Or you can terminate the baby. Lucius gasped as if he had struck. Terminate his grandchild? No! Draco looked at Lucius, very clear in his grey eyes. Lucius turned to Millicent and said, Millicent, I have no right to ask this of you, of course, so I'm begging. If you want to take care of the baby yourself, please carry it to term and I will adopt it. Please do not kill my grandchild. Millicent looked at him tearily, then she looked at Draco. What should I do? Draco looked at his father. I don't know what to tell you, but if you want to get married, you will both have a place at the manor with me. Millicent cried harder. I just don't know how this happened. I was taking an anti-pregnancy potion. Which one? Severus asked, slipping into his master of potions persona. Madame Rose's. It's supposed to be foolproof. Severus frowned sharply. It is foolproof. There has never been a pregnancy when the woman was taking the properly made and administered Madame Rose's. Are you sure you took it every day, even when Draco was not, with you? Millicent nodded. Yes, I took it for all the Christmas holidays. Even though I knew I wasn't going to be with Draco, I took it right, I swear. Severus looked thoughtful. If you don't mind, Millicent, I would like to take a look at the bottle. Millicent nodded, still crying. Severus swept out of the room with a promise that he would be back as soon as possible. Draco reached out to stroke Millicent's back in a comforting manner, though he looked close to tears himself. I'll marry you if you want, he said in a very small voice. Lucius did not miss the smile in Mrs. Bulstrode's face. Finally, Severus returned looking grim. This potion has been tampered with, he announced. What? Millicent gasped. Someone did this to us on purpose? Draco whispered. Then he and Lucius vowed to kill whoever it had been. No one got away with hurting his precious son. There is a potion that will annul the effects of Madame Roses. It has been added to this bottle. Millicent, who had access to your things? Anyone who can get into the Slithering Girls' storm, Draco answered for her. But why would anyone do this to us? And suddenly Lucius knew. He jumped to his feet and drew his wand. How dare you! He yelled, causing Millicent and Draco to jump, and Mr. and Mrs. Bullstorm cowered before him. I don't know what you mean, Mrs. Bullstorm stuttered, clearly lying. How dare you use your daughter this way? How dare you do this to my son? Was marrying into my family that important to you? Lucius drew back his wand, prepared to curse them, but Draco stood and grabbed his wrist. Father, don't! How can you defend them? Because if you curse them, you could go to Azkaban, and I need you right now, more than ever. Lucius paused for a moment, then yelled, Get out of here. You have no legal claim to your daughter anymore. She's of age, and you have never had any moral claim to her. Get out! Get out! And they did. Draco wrapped his arm around Lucius' waist and lay his head on Lucius' shoulder. Lucius did not want this for him, but he could not lose his grandchild either. He felt so helpless. Ah! Millicent's screams reverberated down the hallway. She was in her bedroom with midwife, while Draco and Lucius paced the halls. Her sounds of pain soon diminished and were replaced by the keening cry of a newborn. Lucius rushed into the room and Draco followed, more slowly. Millicent was propped up by pillows, a tiny baby cradled in her thickly muscled arms. She was crying, exactly why Lucius could not tell. Lucius gently led Draco to her bedside and helped. Draco wasn't his little boy anymore.